Hi. First of all, thank you for taking time to actually look through this video. My name is Alicio. Today, I'm going to share with you a topic, freehold versus leasehold. Yes, I know you have heard a lot about this topic already, but today I'm going to share with you a different perspective because a lot of times, whatever you hear, at the end of the day, the person who's sharing with you is going to tell you, yeah, leasehold is better because of the pricing. But think about it. Is this really true? Okay, what I'm going to share with you is some tips of how to determine some of the pointers, and then at the end of the day, you can make a better decision. So today I'm going to share 4 topics. Okay, one is actually the lease. We're going to talk about the lease because freehold versus leasehold. One is like forever the lease, and the other one will expire after a certain period of time. Okay, we also will be talking about the legacy. Okay, a lot of parents, like, they buy a certain property, they want to go and leave it for the kids, but the question is, whatever you leave for the kids, right, is there value for them? And we talk about scarcity. Most women know, you're buying a handbag, anything that's limited edition, or for the guys, for the matter, the watches limited edition, all these will actually garner you a lot of future value. Is it true for property as well? And we also look at schools, because we know a majority of the parents, if they have the first child who want to go into the well-renowned school, so to live within 1 kilometer of the school is very important. And recently also MOE made some announcement that will actually affect this decision as well. So let me go into details. Okay, first we look at the lease. Okay, as we all know, for freehold, right, the lease is going to run forever and ever. So there is no such thing as lease decay. Unlike leasehold, as the lease gets shorter and shorter, buyers will be worried, or even owners will be worried that the value may drop, because the next buyer, when they go buy the property and stay there for 10 years, they may worry that after 10 years later, it's not going to fetch the same value, or it's not going to appreciate anymore. They may even sell at a loss. Okay, this is one of the concerns. I'm going to share with you some example of value preservation. Okay, we look at this property, these 2 properties. Okay, Amaranda Gardens and also Sunnydale. They are both near to this Lorong Chuan MRT. One is freehold, the other, the Sunnydale, is leasehold. Let's look at how they perform over the long term. As you can see in 2002, their gap, right? The price gap is very little, probably around $100-$150 per square feet. But as the years go by, you can see that the freehold continues to appreciate no matter what, no matter how old they are. But you can see that the leasehold, right, they are side by side. But when the leasehold, after a certain number of years, about 10 years or so, the price becomes stagnant. And you can see because of that, the price gap is now very big. Okay, we are looking at about almost 1,000 to 1,500 per square feet difference, which is actually very, very, very big. But even consider that the property is actually now getting older. Another example I'm going to share with you is this one, which is actually very interesting, because we're going to look at this Golden Hill Park, which is actually directly beside this Lorong Chuan MRT. And you all know that Lorong Chuan MRT doesn't provide any amenities. There's just the MRT station. Okay, there's no shopping mall or anything like that. Then we look at the leasehold, which is actually Sungate. If you know Serangoon MRT station itself is the MRT interchange for the Northeast line and also the Circle line. Okay, and also beside the MRT station, there's this big mall called Next Shopping Center. So this Sungate, right, being beside a very convenient location, that means with the MRT and the shopping mall and shops and wet market and everything else, okay, nothing that you cannot find there. But is it the location is important? Okay, because the freehold that for Golden Park is actually only near the MRT. It's not even near any shopping mall, so it's not really very convenient. So you look at their performance. In 2002, again, freehold, actually there is a premium to it. So you can see that it's actually a price gap already, but it's very small. Probably you are looking at about 200, 300 per square feet difference. But look at today, because the fact that the freehold continues to appreciate, right? Again, you can see here, the leasehold again becomes stagnant after a certain number of years. Okay, so again, with these 2 things, the price gap has actually widened. Okay, even though Golden Hill Park is not near any amenities, only the MRT, you can see that it still continue to appreciate because the fact that it's a freehold. But the leasehold, although it's a super convenient location, but after a certain number of years, it becomes stagnant. That's why you see the gap widening. Okay. Another last example I'm going to show you. This is very interesting because you can see that I'm sharing with you Paya Lebar. You know Paya Lebar now, there's a PLQ, there's all the shopping center. It's also a MRT interchange. It's like a CBD hub as well. So there's this condo 99 years called Sinsville. You can see here. It's within walking distance to the MRT, probably like 2 to 5 minutes walk. Further down, you can see Sunny Spring. Okay, Sunny Spring is actually very far from the MRT. You have to walk maybe about 30 minutes. Okay, so now we see how they perform. Many years ago, in 1996, okay, they are actually about the same price, the freehold and the leasehold, because the fact that the freehold is located further away, not so convenient, so the price is actually slightly lower, comparable to the leasehold that is near the amenities. Then you look at over the years, around this period 2012, the property pricing are still about the same. But then because as the freehold starts to age and the leasehold also starts to age, you can see that the freehold starts to have a gap compared to the leasehold. Although the leasehold is very near the MRT, very near Paya Lebar, where all the transformation is happening, the good thing is it still considered appreciate, but you already can see there is a gap. The freehold, although not very near the transformation, starts to appreciate faster compared to the leasehold, because the leasehold, one thing is that the lease decay is happening for the leasehold. That's why although it continue to appreciate, but it's not as fast compared to the freehold. So you can see that the freehold is going against the lease decay issue. It doesn't have that issue. So it continues to appreciate over the years, even as it gets older. In fact, when it gets older, it even appreciate more than the leasehold. Next thing, we look at legacy. Like I mentioned, a lot of parents like to buy property and then in the hope that they can pass down to their children. But you must make sure that whatever you get, right, is actually an asset to your children, not become at the end of the day become a burden to the children, where the children have to look at what all the possible losses and all the issues that they have. Okay, so I'm going to share a bit example here. Okay, we look at these two projects, Clementi Park and Faber Crest. Clementi Park is actually a freehold. Okay, Faber Crest is a 99 years leasehold. They are actually situated along the same road in somewhere in West Coast area. Okay, so you look at, imagine yourself actually buy a property around here. Okay, so let's say for example you got the freehold, which is Clementi Park. We look at the blue line. Okay, you continue to appreciate, and then when you reach this point, right, is when you are 65 years old. So when you reach 65 years old, your property is actually fully paid because our loan tenure is maximum 65 years old. Okay, so when it's fully paid, right, means that let's say for example you're going to buy this for own stay. By the time when you retire, decided that, hey, I want to stay with my children because I need to help them take care of the next generation. So you move out and then you thinking to yourself, should I sell this property or should I rent it out, hold it? Will it give me more value? Okay, so when you look at freehold, right, it continues to appreciate. Okay, and then at this point, because it's fully paid already, you're collecting 100% rental income. So from here onwards, you actually whatever rental income that you're collecting is all in your pocket. You don't need to pay any mortgage anymore. Okay, at the same time, you get appreciation. See, from age 65 until now, there is this portion of appreciation. But when you look at the leasehold, let's say Faber Crest in this situation, you also continue to appreciate. Same thing, here you reach 65 years old, you decided to retire and fully paid the property already, then you continue to rent. Yes, it appreciates, but you can see that the appreciation gap is very small. Okay, of course, you still also get your 100% rental income. But now my question to you is, this aside, because rental income is a given for both when you're fully paid, the question is, do you want something that appreciates more or appreciates less? Because don't forget, no, if one day you decided to pass this property to your children, okay, when you pass the property to the children, at this age, 65 is at this level, maybe sometime at this point it's still at the same level. Although it never appreciate, but To be honest, because of inflation, actually, if you never appreciate, right, means you're actually losing in value because of inflation. But when the property starts to appreciate in the long term, okay, after even you're fully paid, there is not only capital appreciation, but you're also going against the inflation as well. So actually, there is more value for your next generation. Okay, so we're talking about a legacy that has more value for our next generation. And one thing interesting about this chart is that if you look at the freehold property, actually it's much older than because it starts earlier, the lease starts earlier, it's actually much older than the leasehold property, but then now it's actually fetch a higher value than the leasehold property. So something that you can think about. Next thing to talk about scarcity. Okay, as we all know from this chart, about 50% of the all the private properties in Singapore are actually freehold at this point, and only 13% of the properties are freehold that is near MRT. We are talking about maybe within 500 meters from the MRT. So in the whole of Singapore, only 13% of the private properties are actually near the MRT. They are freehold. Okay, so it's actually very, very rare. And we all know that the government is not going to sell any freehold land anymore. Okay, the government has ceased to offer freehold land parcels. So whatever they're going to sell is 99 years, which means that this percentage, right, as the government sell more and more land, this percentage was likely to get smaller and smaller. This 13%. 13% of the properties, freehold properties are near MRT. So it's going to get smaller and smaller, the percentage, because it's going to be more and more rare. Because whatever new land that is coming up is only leasehold, no more freehold. And some of these freehold land, eventually some developers will buy a freehold land and sell as a leasehold property. So it's going to be even, may even get smaller, or some freehold land will be acquired back by government to make space for road or even MRT lines and all these things. So we know that this 13% is going to get smaller and smaller. So which means that freehold near MRT is going to be more and more rare. Okay, why am I talking about freehold near MRT? This is the reason why. Okay, we look at again back to Golden Hill Park and Cashington Park. Golden Hill Park, just now you can see from the map, is actually beside this Lorong Chuan MRT. Okay, Cashington Park is actually at Serangoon North. It's not near the MRT. Okay, so you look at the blue line, which is Golden Hill Park, which is near the MRT. Over the years, right, it continues to appreciate. Whereas you look at Cashington Park, it's also continue to appreciate. But then you realize that the one that is not near the MRT appreciates slower. Okay, because at one point they were about the same price over here. But over the years, you can see that the price gap now is very big because of the fact that Golden Hill Park is near the MRT, whereas Cashington Park is not near the MRT. Okay, and one interesting point again I would like to point out is that Golden Hill Park actually starts here, but that means it's actually older. So even an older freehold property that is near MRT can fetch a much better value than another freehold property that is not near the MRT. So MRT becomes an important factor in determining the value of the property in the long run. Okay. Lastly, we talk about schools. As you all know, a lot of couples, if their first child wants to go into a renowned school, they need to move within the 1 kilometer radius. And because of last year's announcement by the government about how to calculate the radius, now actually probably more area or more condos or even more HDBs are eligible to meet within the 1 kilometer radius criteria. That's why actually you see this article over here. It actually says that prices of homes near top schools are already high and are likely to rise even more following the MOE's new announcement. So we already have certain demand, certain value that actually fetch higher price than other properties not within the 1 kilometer radius. But now it's going to be even higher. Okay, then we like to know how much higher is higher than others that are not within the 1 kilometer. Okay, this article also give you an example, like for example, St. Hilda's in Tampines. Okay, generally the properties that are within 1 kilometer fetch about 10 to 12% higher than the district average price. Okay, That means anything that is out of the 1 kilometer will be cheaper. The one within 1 kilometer would be 11 to 12% higher. And when there are even more renowned schools like ACS, it goes up to as high as 19%. So we are talking about renowned school properties within the 1 kilometer can fetch about 11 to 19% higher than properties that are out of the 1 kilometer. Okay, so this is the important point. So we cover the MRT, okay, the scarcity. Okay, we talk about the schools that actually generate demands. We talk about lease, even like after many years, as long as the lease goes on forever, there is appreciation of the value, so there's preservation of value. Okay, we talk about limited edition. Freehold near MRT is very limited. Okay, so now the question is, all these although are positive signs, but again, back to the question, do not assume that freehold will make you money when you meet all these checks. Okay, because what is more important is something I like to show you here. If you actually look at this chart, you see that this is a freehold property in the east area. Okay, it's actually quite a convenient location, to be honest. I shall not reveal the name. Okay, for those who already know, you know which property I'm talking about. But more important is this area here. Look at the negative number. This is the losses that the owners make because they didn't make a right decision when they decided to purchase this property. You may check out some of the points that I mentioned earlier, but is that really all that you need to know? Okay, because to me, right, what is more important is this thing called entry price. Okay, yes, entry price. You know, a lot of people tell you leasehold entry price is lower than a freehold. But what about the freehold? Is there something that has good entry price at all, or never happens? Okay, so I've done some studies and analysis on some freehold properties, and also look at their entry price, when how to justify that it is a good entry price. If you're actually interested, you can PM me, or you can call me. I'm more willing to share. I'm more willingly to share more with you. Okay, so I look forward to you receiving your calls or PM, so you can understand a little bit more. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for your time. See you around. Bye.